Welcome back to Film Fanatics. My name's Miles, and today we're talking about Star Trek Into Darkness. Now, if you saw my first Star Trek review, you understand that I know that this is the story about men. This is a story about men looking to other men and seeing potential in them, and men looking up to those men trying to be as great or better than them. Iron sharpens iron, great messages, but this Star Trek story takes us on the adventure of every man's trying to be just as good as the other man, but what if you encounter the perfect man with the means and the will to destroy and to kill anything in its path to get what he wants and orchestrate Joker level freaking plans to get to that point. So before I get into my breakdown, before I get into my review, I want to go ahead and say thank you so very much to all 10 billion of my subscribers. You got to say it before it happens. So if you're a part of that 10 billion, hit that subscribe button and don't let it hit you back, because I heard it puts up a fight. So without further ado, I'm going to get down into my breakdown, and later on I'll get into my pros and my cons. But basically this movie starts off with Captain Kirk and Spock and all of them on this planet. It's a very primitive planet, so they're not supposed to, hop in there and interact, but a volcano is erupting. So, Captain Kirk definitely wants to go in there and save them. So he sends in his first officer, Spock, who almost dies, but wants to carry out the mission. They end up saving him through a whole lot of, action-packed scenes. Eventually, like I said, I didn't say this, but the civilization sees that ship, they get in trouble, they save Spock, and that civilization kind of worships that ship now. So I'm kind of gonna breeze through it. So if you see the movie, it's way more action-packed. It's handled very amazingly. Every character stands out and shines, and who they are stands out as well, and I love that. So you definitely need to go give this movie a look. But this leads into Spock letting Chris Pine, or Captain Pine, know that Captain Kirk effed up, and this leads to our introduction to RoboCop. It's RoboCop, and he's letting us know that, hey, stuff like this happens, but end all be all, I see a bigger future for us, a bigger plan. And his plan was essentially to weaponize Star Trek, weaponize the USS Enterprise, weaponize the whole thing, because Star Trek's main focus is really just to observe and to make connections with civilizations, not to interfere with them at all, but he wants to go and just rule the universe. Typical, right? So he's working with our antagonist, Khan, the Wrath of Khan. So what he's doing in the background is orchestrating, like I said, Joker-esque espionage type deals, where he's killing officers, he's blowing up libraries, he's blowing up archives, and he's trying to get off the general's plan to have the USS Enterprise stranded in enemy space with missiles ready to fire, inevitably starting a war between I forget what they're called, but them and Star Trek. And he was full on prepared. They were building something big. So inevitably, they get sent out. The whole plan goes on, but Khan is all the way out on this planet. They eventually encounter Khan, and they get to a point where he's saying some real crazy stuff, and they have to fact check. And a lot of the scenes early in the movie are starting to make sense now. It's all starting to happen, and then boom, out of nowhere, Robot shows up in his bang up ass ship. That thing was huge. He had a monster ship, and he was not playing games. He was gonna kill everybody. And Khan was just like, I already knew, and he had a bigger plan. So he was helping our protagonist, and he was just manipulating him, because he's the perfect man. He's smarter than them, he's stronger than them, he's better than them, but Spock and Captain Kirk have to figure this out along with their whole crew and ship, and then they eventually do. But before they get to that point, Khan eventually kills everybody on the bigger ship. He takes the bigger ship to the to the other solar system, and he says, hey man, I'm going to kill everybody and destroy Starfleet because F y'all for what y'all did to me and my crew. Y'all are bastards. And he wasn't playing with us. He wasn't playing. And I respect that. But, you know, Spock and, you know, Captain Kirk and the whole crew was like, F that. They devise a plan, and Scotty comes along and does some real plot armor deal right there, shuts down the ship, lets them fire on the ship. But Khan is not easily destroyed. So he flies down, goes down, and tries to destroy it. He freaking pulls a 9/11 and crashes the ship into Starfleet. Holy F. Because, like, in reality, like, yo, he killed so many people. Like, he is a badass for that. Not saying do that in real life. You can't do that in real life because it's a starship, but don't go out and do that because he killed real people in that movie. That's effed up. So, like, you know, they do eventually stop him through a lot. Like, Spock, you know, he's pretty tough. He's pretty badass. So he goes down. He handles him. And then, but like I said, like, yeah, kind of failed in a way, but overall, they get the job done. They put him back in the cryo sleep. They put all of his crew members back in the cryo sleep, and they go on for their next adventure. And I'll review that one another day. But if you made it to this point in the video, thank you so very, very much. I definitely enjoy Star Trek, the philosophy that it brings, because one of the philosophies that it did bring was the idea of death, how one could feel about it. You could encounter so many different people with so many viewpoints. And like I said, overall, what it is to be a man. Started like what it is to measure yourself and how committed to you are your goals, whether that's good or bad, ethical or not. These things can come to define you. So like I said, thank you so very much for getting to this point in the video. Have a great rest of your day. Love yourself, take care, and be the best version you can be. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and subscribe.